Yo, yo, check, check, check. What's happening? Shellback, what's going down? Threaded headwear checking in. What's happening? Cute Lash, what's going down? Cutie Lash, what's going down? City Boy checking in. What's happening? What's happening? Oh, regular Tuesday t-shirt talk. Trying to help the people. If you guys got questions, shoot them out. We'll get it going. Chicago checking in. That's right. Therese, what's happening? Will G. Hell yeah. If you guys got businesses, like I'm pretty sure your screen name isn't the same as your business name. Put your business name in the chat so I can see what business is like with your business name or whatever you got going on. G6 Customs, what's happening? Revive, that's right. Art to Wear Lab, damn, that's dope. Sacria checking in from the Midwest, that's right. Simply Anchored LLC, Shellback, that's right. Hell yeah. True King Embroidered Designs and Printing. Kenneth Bell, that's right. I asked to do that because like a lot of your guys' names, obviously this is a different YouTube account than your business name. So I'm just trying to put the businesses to the screen names that I see. You know what I mean? Shellback's my gaming name. There you go. See? Diversified Threads. That's right. Justin Jacobson. Hell yeah. Ready for GPX. Let's see how many we can get at the meet and greet. That's right. So if you guys don't know, Long Beach, California, they're having the Graphics Pro Expo coming up in a few weeks, I think, right? Or 2 weeks or something like that. G6 trying to organize a meet and greet with everybody like we did at Impressions Expo. So if you're going to be out there at GPX, it's free. Roll through. Kathleen from the Crafters Corner. Hell yeah. Carolyn CP Creations, Cleveland, Ohio. SG Pond from Douglas. That's right. I like to stay anonymous. That's Big Sky Wolf. Up and coming. That's right. What's up, bro? San Antonio, Texas. Chris Trejo, what's going down? Showback repping Virginia Beach. That's right. I got an event coming up in 6 weeks. Doing my research now. That's how you do it. Threaded headwear. You know how it goes down. Let me see. My question for the day is: have you ever gone through the process of canceling your EIN or business LLC if you're taking a break? Hope that question makes sense. I've never went through the process of like taking a break or anything like that. I went through the process of like transferring over like my EIN to a different business name and stuff like that, but I've never canceled it. Let me see. Justin Jacobson also doing a sub brand as Laid Too Low clothing geared towards custom trucks and cars, truck clubs. That's right. I think I said that right. Laid Too Low. Yeah, I've never canceled a LLC or canceled my EIN or anything like that. I've never taken a break, really. Some things I've let lapse over and just like not renewed it when it was time to renew, I guess. But I have transferred like names to different reseller permits or names to different EINs, names to different Shopify accounts, stuff like that. I've done that before, but not necessarily took a break and canceled anything. Let me see. Yeah, for the most part, you know what I mean. We're just trying to get caught up. I've been catching up on online orders. Um, Still need. I'm waiting on blanks. I'm waiting on blank hats for one of the home's restaurants, so I could get those out and hook them up because they're getting a lot of publicity right now at their restaurant. So if you're in the South Bay, anywhere in like Los Angeles, South Bay area, El Tarasco's one of the Mexican restaurants out here. That's in, I think they're in Inglewood, The beach cities, Hermosa, they got one in Lawndale, they got one in Redondo Beach on Artesia. They got a few of them everywhere. But they've been getting like a ton of publicity. So I'm hooking them up with some hats. I'm just waiting for those hats to come in. Waiting for the other blank hats so I could start stitching up the stuff that was selling at the festival to restock the store up. I'm going to be doing a bunch of traveling coming up. So I'm just trying to get the stuff in before I go on travel. Diz, what's happening, bro? Let me see. I noticed you weren't using the heat press Teflon covers anymore and you were using the magnets to hold a sheet again. What's the reason? I know I had a problem with the cover that I bought on Amazon. Um, One of the biggest reasons what I switched back to the Teflon covers is because Heat Press Nation wasn't selling them, like they were sold out, and it's kind of jacked up. You know what I mean? Like if I'm using these covers from Heat Press Nation and they sold out. So I'm showing the alternative, which is Teflon covers with magnets, and you can buy those off of Amazon. So I like to show things that I use that are convenient to myself, but also I want them to be accessible to you. I'm all about, having easy access to certain shit. You know what I mean? And if if you guys see me use something and the shit's like sold out or they don't have it, then you'll be like, "Yeah, man, what's the next best option?" So I might as well just show you what that option is by showing you I'm using Teflon sheets and magnets. You know what I mean? But I still have the covers. You know what I mean? Let me see. How many different designs do you take to those pop-ups, and how many different product options you take with you to sell? Shit, I took a gang, man. I took like 10 different 10 or 12 different t-shirt designs. Each one was in two different colorways. So what is that, like fucking 20 to 24 different ones? It all depends. Like it's no like set limit on, yeah, you need to bring this much, or you have to go based off of what the foot traffic looks like. You have to go based on how many people's going to be there. Like one of the homegirls that lives close to me, she vends at a lot of shows. She just posted an Instagram story today, and it was for like some movie premiere or something like that. And the to vend at that event, it was like $750. But they said there was only 200 guests that were going to be there. I thought that was crazy, because for $750 and you're only going to get a shot at a small chunk of those 200 people, you know what I mean? Like the shit ain't gonna be worth it. But you have to know like what the foot traffic's gonna be like. That's gonna depend on how many products you bring and options and stuff like that. Majority of the people that shopped with me at the festival that I just vended at, there was thousands of people each day, bought multiple things: two t-shirts, three t-shirts, t-shirt and a hat, two hats. Majority of them bought multiples and not just one single thing. um does that happen all the time? No, but I just know what the foot traffic at that festival looks like because I vend at it every year. So it's easy for me to be like, all right, I'm going to bring this many options and this many designs because I know what's going on here. Let me see. I asked because military life is calling currently, and I'm not sure how to go about the whole process since I'll be gone for a while. Yeah, that part I'm not 100% sure. Your best bet is contact your city clerk and then ask them. And you know what I mean? When you mention that, you're in the military, a lot of times they'll help you out. So figure out what would be the best steps. Um, Maybe there's a process where you could just put the shit on hold. I don't know. Just got the deal of the century on Monday. Drove 2 hours to pick up a HPN Signature Series 15 by 15 for $250. Damn, that's dumb cheap. It was only used twice and it's in perfect condition. So excited. That is the deal of century, and that's dumb cheap. $250 is dope. Is Inglewood safe? Yeah, everywhere's safe. You know what I mean? But also everywhere has its bad parts. You know what I mean? But for the most part, Inglewood's safe. That's where SoFi's at. That's where the Forum's at. That's where the Intuit Dome, where the Clippers plays at. Damn, there where the airport's at. You know what I mean? How often do you change out that Teflon? I don't change it at all, man. Um, I just keep it up for as long as I need it to be on there. Unless like something happens where it rips, or that's the only time is like if something rips or something, then I change it out. But they pretty much last forever. What do you do when you have to do a DTF 5XL shirt? Do you change the size or just stick with your normal size? I just stick with my normal size. I don't change nothing up for the size of the t-shirt. Um, to me, it's not needed. There's some people that feel otherwise, but what a lot of people forget is t-shirts look way different when they're flat on a table or flat on your bed versus on a body. You know what I mean? Because the body's round, right? So when somebody puts the t-shirt on, it's around their body. It's not just a flat surface. This is why a lot of people mess up when they do left chest prints, is because they look at it on a flat surface and they push the print way too much to the left, then it lands in the armpit, because t-shirts look different when they're worn on the body versus when they're flat on a surface. So I never change up the size of design anytime I'm doing, doesn't matter the size of t-shirt. Whatever size transfer I got, that's the size that I use on the t-shirt, and leave it at that. You know what I mean? That's just me though. Is that standard, or is that what you're supposed to do? No. If you wanted to size your shit up, go for it. If you feel like you want the design to be bigger on a 5X t-shirt, by all means go for a bigger size. For me, I don't. Let me see. I'm trying to go back, scroll up here and see what I missed. Um, uh, um, Going back to the person talking about size of designs, the analogy that I always give, or not analogy, but the example I always give is when people screen print t-shirts, right? Doesn't matter what t-shirts they're printing on, they only burn one screen and that's it. So the design is going to be the same exact size on all t-shirt offerings. They burn one screen, that's the screen they're using to print the t-shirts, and any size that they want to offer is going on to that same exact. They're loading it onto the platen, they're flooding the screen, pushing the ink through the screen onto the t-shirt. They don't change the screen based on the size of t-shirts that they're printing on. So for me, I use that analogy because I come from a screen printing background where I use that example coming from a screen printing background where I'm just like, I ain't changing shit up. The size is going to be the size, and that's it. Let me see. For an estimated 2,000 person foot traffic for the event, what would you recommend as far as how many units to bring? That's hard, man. It's really hard because you have to go based on like size of people that are going to be there, right? Well, what your average size is going to be. And then you want to bring obviously products that are going to be bangers that are going to catch attention. So it's just going to be a gamble, man. Like if you just brought like six of each size, and like let's say that shit sells out in like the first hour of the event, and then you're just gonna be sitting there. It's cool that you sold out, but you could be making more money. But then if you went like, let's say, fucking, I'm gonna go 3 dozen of each size, and then fucking nobody buys, it's a gamble. You just have to go with like what your gut feels like. You're gonna be like, all right, I feel like this is gonna sell, so I need to bring this many of this. And I feel like large and extra large, or extra large and double X, or it's just hard. It's just a gamble. You're just gonna have to basically roll the dice and then see what happens. You know what I mean? It sucks, but that's basically how the shit goes down. Let me see, the press pillows bundle I bought years ago. They're mad expensive now. Yeah, heat pressing is also very expensive now because popularity. You know what I mean? Doris Collins, what's happening? Glenn, what's happening? Alpha Day, you are very knowledgeable. That's why I listen to you. I appreciate that, Kathleen. Thank you, thank you. Cutie Lash said, "It's bad here, so curious." Yeah, everywhere has good and bad parts to it. You know what I mean? Do you offer specials at these shows or just sell at regular price? Nah, like at my show that we just did in my store, t-shirts are like 27.99, online to 27.99. Same for hats. At the show, I'll sell them for 25. Not much of a deal, but um, a little bit of an incentive for people to buy at the show versus buying online. Let me see. Do you use Teflon with film and paper? Now, I just only use Teflon sheets with film transfers only. That's it. Paper transfers, I don't. Paper transfers, I don't do a second press on those either. Let me see. You ever try AI for designs? Nah, I have like I posted this. I don't know if you guys are part of my Instagram subscriber list, but I had posted this where I drew something out. I kind of showed the process, right? So it's like it starts out with a sketch. I'll color it in. I'll draw a hard line things to make it look stand out or make it stand out. I take a picture of this and then I upload it to Photoshop. Once it's uploaded to Photoshop, I redraw it with the pen tool, clean it up, turn it into a digital image. Um, but yeah, that's just my process. So I don't use AI for anything that I do. Not that I'm against it or not that I think it's bad or anything. I just haven't sat down and messed with it enough to try it out because I already have my own process in place. Um, Michael, what's happening, man? How you doing? At the stores, it's also same design size. Yeah, it's exactly it. It's just it'd get confusing if you started to like, all right, size small shirts are gonna get this size design, medium shirts are gonna get this size, large is gonna get this size. Now you have all these different size transfers that you have to buy when a screen printer is just burning one screen and printing everything. If it's good for them, it's good for you. You seen DTF Pro came out with something to spray for the second press. I'm thinking it's something silicone based liquid to make the ink press further into the shirt, but I don't know. I don't know nothing about it. I've never tried it. I don't know the science behind it. I've seen the ads and what the claims are, but I've never used it before. Let me see. Brando, what's your thought on movie shirts? For example, a picture of Scarface. That's tricky because this is what you run into, and I've seen this multiple times of people getting hit. Is you're taking a picture of a person for one that would be Al Pacino, right? So now you're using Al Pacino's face and likeness to sell a T-shirt. The movie Scarface as a whole, whoever owns that movie as a whole, you're using their uh basically IP to sell a T-shirt, and then on top of that, the photographer that actually took the picture, you're using their image. Now, I say all of this because I've seen people get busted for taking images off of Google, putting it onto a T-shirt and selling it, and the photographer gets a check, and the person that you're using, like the estate, like if it's somebody that passed away, especially, the estate comes after you and they sue you also. So I've seen it from different angles of people getting busted doing that kind of stuff. So I stay away from that kind of shit because it is kind of tricky to navigate through that. Um, I know the easy thing to say is like, oh man, but those t-shirts would sell or that'd be an easy way to make some money. And yeah, you're right. But at the same exact time, if you're running your business, you're taking all the risk. So for me, I don't do that kind of stuff. If you were looking into do that, like I would say operate at your own risk, man, because I've seen small creators and big creators get busted doing that kind of stuff. And when I say creators, I'm talking about like people making t-shirts. And then on top of that, I've seen people that print transfers get busted also because they're the ones reproducing uh those trademarked images and stuff like that. So it's like the printer gets busted, the person selling the t-shirt gets busted, and it's multiple people coming after you. So yeah, like I said, I've seen small businesses that don't sell a lot of t-shirts that get into this and they get busted. And I've also seen some people making tons of money, um, and they get busted also. So be careful. If you are planning on doing that, be careful and operate at your own risk. Let me see. Have you ever used a silicone sheet? I've never used any silicone sheets to for the top platen. I've only used the Teflon sheets or those non-stick covers. I've used craft paper also, but that's it. Let me see. Seriously considering getting a tablet to use drawing software with the pen to yeah, like I have a iPad and the Apple Pencil and I use Procreate to draw and sketch. Shit's dope, man. Cutie Lash said they tried the spray and it's aight. There you go. Firsthand experienced users in the chat. I've I don't got no hands-on experience with it, so I can't say, yeah, this is dope, or yeah, get it, or it works, because I haven't tried it out. Threaded Headwear got hit with a C&D for one of my hats on Etsy. It was a newly filed trademark on something I've been selling since I started the brand. There it is right there, man. It happens. And like I said, like either you're moving units or you're not moving too many units, but people are out there watching. And from from my understanding is a lot of these like these companies or the people that are trademarking this stuff, especially photographers, they hire these like law firms that scour the internet just to look for their clients' images being used outside of what their intended use is, right? So I've seen people, uh, I know photographers that went after people for like using their images, like say it got like sublimated onto a blanket or something like that. And they went after who did the sublimation. They went after the people that actually sold the product. Like they was going after a bunch of people, and those photographers are cashing big ass checks. Like they're paying this law firm to do this, and they're going after the people and suing them, and they're getting cashed out. And those photographers are coming up because you got to remember, like whoever's in the picture that you're using their face and their likeness for profit, and then it's the person that took the picture also. So it's like you're using their art on your stuff to profit off of. So it's a bunch of people coming after you, not just one person. You know what I mean? I just had this conversation. This is not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago, um, with somebody that, well, two different people. One person was actually doing that, and they was selling uh, transfers to some guy that was had copywritten or trademark images on. They were putting it on T-shirts and selling them, and then whoever went after the dude selling T-shirts, he was just like, "Oh shit, I buy my transfers from over here," and busted them, and was just like they went to the dude that was making the transfers, got at him for reproducing their images, and then they got at the dude because he's selling the transfers, so he's making a profit. The other dude selling the T-shirts is selling the product, getting profit. So they went after both of them. It's ill, man. It's a crazy game. Let me see. The risk is too high with copyright infringement. Yeah, man. And it, it's there's something said to be original with shit. You know what I mean? Like you do your own shit and you make up your own designs and products and stuff. And sometimes you could be influenced by shit that you see, but anytime you create something original, you take pride in that shit because not a lot of people could do it. You know what I mean? Gee, why does my vinyl keep coming off my shirts after I double press them? Uh, I don't know. Maybe that vinyl's not made to be double pressed, man. It could be that. It could be the vinyl sticking to your platen. It could be a lot of different things. I don't know. That's a hard one to say. It's hard to diagnose an issue like that, um, without knowing the full schematics. You know what I mean? It could be moisture in your t-shirt, and maybe the vinyl's not adhering correctly because you got moisture in your shirt. Your settings might be off. But then also the vinyl might not be made to be repressed again. It might be just a one press deal. All depends, man. I would hit up the people you bought the vinyl from and be like, hey, why is this happening? And maybe they could help troubleshoot the issue for you. Have you had any problem with Shopify, and is it easy to set up an online store? Man, I haven't had no issues with Shopify whatsoever. And to get set up on Shopify, pretty easy because Shopify has a ton of content on their own social media channels to help you get started. Like, you could type in how to set up my Shopify store on YouTube now, and a bunch of content made by Shopify will pop up. But then a bunch of other people will have videos talking about how they set their stores up. I do the easy shit. I use the free template. I don't really change too much, like colors and all that. I don't really change too much. I just upload my products, and now they got it easier where you could upload the picture, and then like you could say eliminate background, and then the shit will like erase the background, or you could change the background color of your product. Shit's dope now, man. Like, it's so easy to do. It's really, really dummy friendly. Like, I'm not sharp when it comes to that kind of shit. If I could do it, you guys could do that shit too, man. For AS Color, is it common for entry level wholesale with them to be a monthly 360 plus purchase pace? That part I don't know. A lot of people are saying that, and that might be something new. I know that like Pro Club started doing that a few years ago. There's a lot of wholesalers that do this, and from my understanding, I don't know. I don't sell wholesale goods, and I'm not in that space to like know how their business works. But from my understanding, they do that because there's a lot of people that buy. I'm one of them. Like, I'll open up accounts with a bunch of different companies, and like let's say I only use them once. Maybe I buy samples from them and I never use them again. But my accounts just open with them. A lot of times they clean up their books and they're like, well, this person's not buying from us. Let's clear this out. This person's not buying from us. Let's clear this out. So that's what I'm guessing is happening, is they're getting a lot of people opening up accounts with them, but not really using them. Like, people just open accounts to look at wholesale prices, but never even buy. And then they just use it to compare pricing with like this company versus this company or something like that. And maybe they're trying to eliminate that. That's my guess. I don't know if that's the cause, or I don't know if that's the case. Um, but for myself, like, it's, to me, what it comes down to is like, let's say you set it up and say, all right, yeah, I'll agree to the $360 or whatever, and you place your first order or whatever it is. And let's say like the blanks that you order aren't what you expected, or it's maybe it doesn't fit your price range, or maybe you don't even want to like order from them or anything like that. I don't think they're gonna hold you to like, yo, you gotta, you only spent $60 this month, you owe us $300. I don't think that's the case. If you find out that that blank t-shirt isn't for you, then you just say, hey, close my account. Like, it ain't for me. I think it's no harm, no foul. But I think they set that expectation just to kind of weed out the people that aren't really going to be using them, because a lot of people are just trying to look at wholesale pricing. But then that's why in my videos, like when I talk about AS Color, I say like, hey, this shit comes with a premium price tag. Like, this shit is hefty. Like, if you're expecting a cheap t-shirt, you're not going to get a cheap t-shirt, you know what I mean? But it understand that it comes with a very expensive price tag, just to make people aware. Like, there's no smoke and mirrors on my end where I'm trying to be like, yeah, order from them. And then you get on there and you're like, man, this shit's $10 a blank or whatever it is. I'm like, man, I told you shit was going to be expensive, because I know what that's like to get, you know, the rug pulled out from under you looking at some stuff. Cause I had hit up it was a San Diego manufacturer, I think it was. And at the time they said they manufactured in San Diego, and they had like some crazy like, oh, it only costs, like, let's say it costs $6 to make mesh shorts. And I knew, all right, there's gonna be some kind of MOQ attached to this. Um, but the $7 mesh shorts was for like the plain shit. The custom shit, it was like, $5 for this, $8 for this. And then it ended up being like a $26, $27 mesh shorts at, 100 pieces. And I'm like, yo, what happened to the $7 one? Is because all the shit added up. And then once I started to see how that pricing worked, it was like the old bait and switch move where it was like, yeah, this is, lock you in at this price. This is what shorts delivered to your doorstep would cost. And then I seen, all the hidden fees and the other shit. I was just like, oh man. So I hate that. So when I make these videos, I try to tell people this bitch is expensive, this is not so expensive, and this is competitively priced. Right. So like, what's the shirt? The block, AS color block shirt. Very comparable to the old all style 1701. That t-shirt to me is dope. Competitively priced, meaning if all these other companies are charging 350 to 450 for their blank t-shirts, competitively pricing means they're priced within that range also. But when I say some shit's dumb expensive, the shit's dumb expensive, meaning $10, $11 for a blank t-shirt. You know what I mean? Not a lot of us can afford to stock our stores with $11 blanks, even though the shirts are dope as hell. It's hard to do. You know what I mean? Eternal Kingdom, G. Why does my? Oh, I think I already read that one. Okay, I think I'm caught up here. I don't mess with anything with industry, music, lyrics, movies, characters since I'm a business. That's the biggest thing is like when you're an actual business, you got something to lose, you know what I mean? So you got to be careful, man. Can you use silhouettes of famous people or that part? I don't know. Like I said, you got to be very, very sure about what you want to do, and you're taking all of the risk. That's the biggest thing is you're taking all the risks. So be careful with what you do. You know what I mean? I'm not a lawyer. I can't tell you what's legal, what's not legal. I can't tell you what you can and can't do. You do whatever you want. From my personal opinion, if you feel like that shit might be illegal and dangerous, don't do it. But people are gonna tiptoe the line and they want somebody to say, no, you could do this. Don't take no fake legal advice from somebody that's not a legal professional. You know what I mean? The hat was booming. Damn, that's tough, man. Having to something that's moving, you can't sell no more. Shit sucks. All right. These comments keep like it's like takes a pause and then they just start flooding up. So I'm trying to scroll up to see what's going down. It was a phrase, bar of text. Damn, that's a tough one. I own a studio, 14 years. Hubby started his shop in 2021. I gifted him his first press. Yo, that's dope, man. One, shout out to the photographers. And two, shout out to having your own studio for the last 14 years. I think that's dope. The photographer retains the rights of the art created, even if the subject person pays. Exactly. And what a lot of people forget is in every single image, there's metadata built into the image that has everybody's copy, that has the photographer's copyrights in there. Not everybody looks at that. Not everybody right clicks and reads the properties of the image and sees what the metadata is. But when you copy and paste or you're downloading the shit and you're using it, the shit travels with it. You know what I mean? That's what it's in there for. Disney will shut you down. Yeah, Disney shut down a lot of people, man. I remember when like Disney constantly does this on I think Facebook Marketplace and Etsy, where they find people using, their trademark shit and they go after them. Rightfully so, you know what I mean? Mess with Big Cartel. I haven't used Big Cartel in I don't know how many years. I haven't had to once I jumped on Shopify. It was never needed. And I don't consider it scaling big enough to drop them. But when I was using Big Cartel, they didn't have shipping integrated into their platform, so that was my biggest beef. Was Shopify has everything built in, so you could host your online store there. You buy your postage through there, buy your shipping labels through there. USPS, UPS, FedEx are all on there. You get a small little discount on the shipping on your end. That kind of shit is what made me jump to Shopify, and it just streamlined everything for myself. It made my life way easier. And that's kind of what it was all about. What's happening with the dough project? I haven't been able to do much. I have like a bag of donations though. Like me and the homie local Dave from Local Roots, we have bags of donations. But I just been busy. I'm about to be traveling like crazy, so we'll see what's going on. Where do you purchase your domain names from? I buy them from Hover, HOVER.com. That's where I get them from. Um, there's a million different places to buy domains from, but I've always used Hover, so I just stuck with them. I wish you could see us nodding as you give us knowledge. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Thanks, that. Like 100%, I appreciate that, Michael, man. And school's got to be starting up too, I believe, right? So you got to be back in the classroom soon. I want to say next week or the week after next, something like that. Let me see. I'm with that Gildan CVC soft style. I just got some today, and bruh, big love for them. Shellback, that's all it is, man. It's like you find some shit that works for you, and that's what you run with. You know what I mean? Like that's the move, really. Let me see. Cheap heat press on Amazon equals inconsistent heat. Yeah, haven't sold one, but I'm hooked, and now I want to get an HPN signature series. With yours, do they ever get inconsistent heat across the platen? I'll say this: every heat press will have like a 3 to 5 degree difference, right? And this is how I've seen heat presses work. I don't know the science behind it. I don't even know if this shit's true. This just through my experience is, let's say you set your heat press up for 320 degrees, right? So you turn that baby on, set it to 320 degrees, and then the temperature starts rising. 10 minutes go by, you hear beep, beep, beep. The press is ready to go. It hits 320 degrees. That's what it shows on the little readout. If you used your laser thermometer at when it beeped, you'll notice that it went way past 320 and the shit's probably at like 350. And you're probably like, what the fuck? My press is fucked up. Like the shit's way off. But what it does is the press like goes up in heat, but it has to heat the whole platen. So what it does is it goes over the recommended whatever it is until everything is over 320, and then it starts to taper off and cool back down to 320. What I call like the cruising temperature. Like if you're supposed to be at 320, it'll go to like 350 and then come down to 320, and then you're like ready to press. Now, the way presses work is like these Amazon ones. They're not made for production. They're just made to heat up and then work. And you could probably do a few t-shirts before you start to see some cold spots and inconsistencies, because they don't have thick coils in there, or the coils don't go across the whole. Like I'll use this piece of paper right here. So most heat presses look like this, right? Speaking of dough getters, this is one of the logos I was doing. If you can see that DOHP, but right here, this is what the heat press looks like, and then these are like the coils on the inside, right? On like some of those Amazon ones, it might just be like one coil, right? So then you'll be pressing 320, and then next you know it starts to get a little cool because this one coil has to like heat up the rest of the press still. So uh hanging out with Heat Press Nation one time, they showed me the inside, like the guts of what these presses look like and how the coils work. So like on the True Spec, that sucker's like solid metal. Like the coils are in there, and then they pour, I don't know if it's aluminum or what they pour around that thing, but then it's solid. So then that way it keeps the press hot all the way around all the time. So the temperature is kind of like it's monitoring itself. The Signature series has a thick layer of metal or aluminum or whatever it is, so you get good even heat all the way through. Now you'll see people and they'll take their laser thermometer and then they'll be like if this is the platen right here, they'll be like, all right, you got to check all four corners with the laser thermometer. If your design doesn't hit the four corners, you don't need to measure that. All you need to measure is where you think the design's like the center, or like a little bit above the center where you think the heat is going to be needed to lay down your stuff. If your design doesn't hit the corners, then don't worry about checking the corners to see what the degrees is. You just want to see where the actual press lands on the shirt. You want to measure that part. Like, all right, the transfers here. I want to make sure that that part has good, even heating, and we're good to go. So keep that in mind. To me, Signature Series has not let me down whatsoever. That's the press I had before I even got onto YouTube. That's one of the presses that I still use in my shop till this day. Fucker's a workhorse, man. And that shit, it's crazy because it's like the 15 by 15 to me is easy because it heats up pretty quick, gets going, auto open, has a slide out drawer, all the bells and whistles that I need in a press. You guys see me use the True Spec a lot because I do those West Side shirts a lot, and that transfer is a lot bigger. So it's easy for me to just put the bigger press on, bang out a bunch of West Side shirts because that's a popular seller in my store. So I'm always making those shirts. But then since the press is already on, I'm just knocking down other stuff at the same exact time. But nothing wrong with the Signature Series, man. I can't say enough good things about that press because that thing's made me a ton of money. You know what I mean? Like that shit's always been reliable for myself. Let me see. I commented on your heat press review on the new presses that dropped recently, but I still have my Signature Series. Have maybe 5,000 presses on it. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. My shit, I've done thousands on top of thousands on top of thousands on both of my Signature Series presses. And that shit is like, man, there's nothing wrong with them. Nothing's happened. I haven't had to service them or do anything weird to them. They just turn on and they work. Brando got me hooked on that AS color. I appreciate that, Ben. That shit's cool, man. I like it. Yep. Next day after tomorrow. Oh shit. Yeah, we talking this week, man. We talking this week, not next week. Let me see. Emmett. I might just have bad luck with mine, but I have an HPN Sig 16 by 20 swing away. Damn. I don't think I've ever seen the 16 by 20 swing away, and it's about 30 degrees off. Had it for 2 years and replaced all of the electrical components. I've never seen the swing away, but I also never had any issues with mine. That's Emmett's experience with his Signature Series. You know what I mean? I got the Signature Series. If I could go back in time, I'd buy the HPN Signature with the auto open and pressure gauge. Yeah, I'm seeing the settings for 320 with the silicone cover on top. Heat gun is showing 250. Oh, damn. Yeah, that's way off. 380 to 250. Maybe it's the silicone, man. That's my guess. I don't know, though. So what you're saying is wait 10 to 15 minutes before pressing. That's my experience. After it beeps, I don't just start pressing right away because every time I checked it with the gun, right when it beeps, I'm like, man, this sucker's hot. I let it cool down and then it just comes to its regular temp and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm ready to go. That's personal on how I do it though. Like, you know what I mean? Amazon heat press is good for making quesadillas. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. Brian, I like your videos, very informative and helpful. Keep pressing, big Brian. Appreciate that, Brian Pearson. Really do, man. Uh, Try getting a heat laser gun to check temps on your heat press. Yeah, I recommend everybody to get that, like just a laser thermometer, just so you can check it. Um, Keeps your press honest, but it also helps you understand what your settings are at. Because even if your readout's off, like let's say the temp gun says 250, and then the readout says 300 something, I would go based on the temp gun. Then I just bump it up until the gun reads three, whatever you need to be at. Then you should be good. Excuse me. Then you should be good. Are you talking about the Black Series Signature Series? No, I'm talking about the Signature Series press. Oh, I'm talking about Signature Series press. Sounds like a lot of people got the Signature Series press. That's dope, man. Devoted Brand got one. That's what I'm talking about. Man, we should all go to HPN's Instagram on one of their Signature Series posts and be like, Man, we need Big Brando to get his own signature series, signature fucking press. Because it sounds dope that everybody got the same press. Um, so I'm like, man, we helping HPN out, but at the same time, uh, that's why I put my little sticker on all my presses. I don't know if you guys notice this, but I always put my sticker on all my heat presses. They have my little logo sticker on there. So then that way it could get into Heat Press Nation's eyes when they see my content and they'd be like, oh shit, he branded his shit with his own thing, you know what I mean? But hook it up with a big Brando series press, man, and it's on. Let me see. I've spent money on a good heat press thermometer and a cheap one from Harbor Freight, and Harbor Freight one is way off. I've experienced that too with Amazon laser thermometer, and then I kind of one of the homies, his name's Max. That has nothing to do with the story, but he's a HVAC dude. He's the one that services my HVAC at my house, and he has a dope ass laser thermometer to check temp when it's coming out the vents. And I just bought the same one. He's like, if this shit's good for AC, it's got to be good for a heat press, right? So let me see, get an affiliate joint and get that code, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. Get up on Heat Press Nations on their Instagram. Start chirping them. Every social media outlet they got. Like, man, Big Brando needs his own signature press. Start making noise around this motherfucker, man. Let me see. I got two 15 by 15 auto open shirt pressure and hat press with auto open. That shit, that's man, it helps, man. Shit helps. Signature series where it's at. Like I said, I've had that press way before I got onto YouTube. I just got a alert from YouTube that I've been on YouTube for 9 years, which is crazy to even think that I've been on this motherfucker for 9 years. But just seeing that, and I've had my press years before I got onto YouTube. I told this story to the owner of HPN one time. We was out in Hawaii and we went to dinner and I had told him, I was like, yo, like the first time I bought my press was at their old location. I think there was in Fullerton at the time, or maybe Brea, or maybe they're in Brea now. I don't know. They're at this old location where it was like a little office and then a warehouse in the back. My dumb ass, like I didn't know shit. So I thought when I looked them up online, I was like, oh, Heat Press Nation. I thought it was a store. So I drove over there thinking I could go in there and like buy a heat press like a store. And I walked right into their like customer service office. And there was all of them on computers looked up at me and was like, who the fuck is this dude? Or what the hell are you doing here? And I was like, yo, I'm here to buy a heat press. I seen this shit online. You know, I'm right down the freeway. So I'm trying to buy this thing. And the way I purchased it was we did like basically an online transaction right there with the customer service dude. And he was just like, all right, yeah, like you want to buy this press? Here it is. Boom, boom, boom. And the dude wheeled it out from the warehouse to the front. He plugged it in, let that thing heat up, and showed me that it worked. And I loaded it into my car and I drove home. And the crazy part is that was the first of its kind. Like they've never had nobody just walk in and say, "Let me buy a heat press." And it was because I seen it was online, and my cheap ass was thinking to ship a heat press, this bitch is gonna be expensive as hell. So let me just go drive over there and pick it up, and buy it. And I wanted to buy it in cash, and it was like, well, you can't take cash. And so I was like, oh shit. So I ended up, we still went through a transaction, and I got it. But that was the first signature series press that I bought, and I still got it to this day. Like I still have that shit, and it still works. Like there's nothing wrong with it. But that's the I've been using it before even Heat Press Nation took notice of my videos or anything. Like if you looked at the very first videos I ever showed me pressing a shirt, because I've always talked about transfers and heat pressing, but when you actually see me pressing the shirt, it's on Heat Press Nation signature series, and that slide out drawer was new to the market. Like it was swingaways. Everybody was on swingaways at the time and just regular clamshells. And Heat Press Nation's slide out drawer was a game changer. I was like, man, this is fucking dope. So that's what that's why I talk about that press, is because that shit, I've had it for so many years and shit just works. Like it's never failed me. I'll say that. Javier, I have signature 15 by 15 as well. Use super color wearable. Sometimes I get my transfer sticking to the sheet as I'm peeling it off. Would the true spec be easier to eliminate that from happening? It just might be all in your release, like on how you're peeling the transfer up. I would increase the pressure a little bit and you should be all right, I think. But I don't think like the heat press isn't going to change anything for you. I would keep the signature series that you're using right now and then just increase the pressure a little bit. And then when you're peeling up transfers, like say this is the transfer right here, don't peel up on the shit, like peel away. You know what I mean? So like do this move. Does that even come out? Do this move instead of doing this move, right? Because you want to just be like, bam, don't do that. Peel it away, if that makes any sense. Low and consistent instead of up. I don't know if that little demonstration helped you out, but to release transfers, that's what I've found to work way easier for myself. I used Brando's link when I bought mine a few years ago. Hell yeah, I appreciate that, man. They didn't give you a code for doing the podcast. Nah, I don't have no discount codes whatsoever, man. I just be doing my shit just to do my shit. You know what I mean? Do you feel 7 to 10 business days is too long for processing and shipping if I have to order blanks as sales come through? If I'm out of inventory, sometimes 7 to 10 business days can hurt the sell. I say this because I'm an impatient shopper. I like to like buy shit and receive, like that's why I love Amazon, right? Because Amazon sometimes will deliver the shit the same day. Um, so I'm impatient. So I would imagine that there's other online shoppers that are impatient just like me. But there's brands like Born and Raised. This is a Born and Raised t-shirt. Their shit's like months out. You know what I mean? Because they pre-order everything and then they process the orders, print everything, and then ship it out. And they send you a bunch of emails saying, "Hey, the shit's from the date of this purchase, this shit's not going to start shipping until like a month from now or a month and a half from now." And that shit's a bummer, man. Like, cause I'd be waiting for the shit, or I'm like, yo, this is going to match this, or I want to wear this to this, but you can't. So if people are like me and might be impatient and they see 7 to 10 business days, they might get a little freaked out. But then if the people really want the product, like myself, I really wanted this Mr. Cartoon t-shirt with Born and Raised, I didn't mind waiting. You know what I mean? If we click through the link on your show notes, does that give you some sort of affiliate bump? Yeah, that if you buy anything through my links, that like tracks with Heat Press Nation. Is HPN will call local to LA? Yeah, I think they're in Fullerton. It's not Fontana. I think they're in Fullerton. So they are local. Local between me and you, that's local. I told Racoma Big Brando sent me when I got my tail. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Alex B. Croft. I thought I was the only one. I went to Stalls in Ohio while I was at another show. They looked at me like I had two heads. Yeah. I'm guessing, heat press stores ain't a thing. But now Heat Press Nation, they got a showroom. So you could actually go in and check all the shit out. At the time, they didn't have nothing like that. It was like I walked right into their customer service operation, standing at the door looking at all these people at computers like, what the fuck? Like, yo, so heat press is here? My heat press got the dial where I have to hand turn for the pressure. Yeah, mine does too, man. Just crank that bitch down. Let me see. I just had a bunch of super color that would not release. The carrier tried everything. Had to keep pressing and peeling till they finally released. Damn, I'm not 100% sure what's going on with that. How do you handle your California sales tax return? I go straight to the CDTFA, pay it back. I pay quarterly. But yeah, I just go to CDTFA, file my returns there. You do it all online. Any more podcast interviews come? Man, I got a bunch of them recorded. I just need to edit them down and get them out. But I have a bunch of stuff recorded. It just takes time to like basically edit everything down and get it out. This, I don't know if you guys know this. I'm pretty sure you do though. But my the way that I handle YouTube is one day out of the week, like on one Sunday, I'll go in, I'll process orders, I'll make all the t-shirts, ship them or get them ready to be shipped out. When I'm done with all that and I turn the heat presses off, I go and record as many videos as I can. Um, Sometimes I'll do like 3 or 4, sometimes I'll do like 8 to 12, but I'll just record them and then I take off. Like, I mean, obviously, I put the footage on a hard drive and I take off, and then I just edit those things throughout the week. So, like, let's say yesterday I had time to edit a video. I went through, edited a quick video. That's why you guys see like the way I edit my videos is like kind of like they consider it jump cutty, where I'm just cutting out all the fluff and just giving you guys consecutive shit. And that's how I upload my videos. So if I don't have like time, if I'm like in the mode of pressing shirts and making hats and stuff like that, and I don't have time to make videos or edit videos, then I don't. Um, Not to say I don't care about YouTube because it's dope. It's just sometimes I just don't have the time to do it. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, what I do is I sell t-shirts. So if I'm in the mode of selling t-shirts, YouTube takes a kind of a back seat. And not to say like, oh shit, I'm way better than YouTube or anything like that. It's just that's how my scheduling works. So when it comes to like those like the podcast videos, those are like hour long, 2 hour long uh videos that I got to go through and chop up and clean up and stuff like that. This kind of takes a little bit of time. So I have a bunch recorded. I just got to sit down and edit them. Maybe I'll take some on the plane with me and edit some down. I was planning on finishing up the ebook while I'm on the plane because I'm going to be traveling. So maybe I'll get some of that work done on the plane. We'll see. The one with Diz was hella dope. Hell yeah, I agree, man. One, chopping it up with Diz is cool. Diz got that cool ass like New York East Coast like lingo, the way he talks and carries himself. So that part is dope. It makes good for entertainment and shit like that. But talking to Diz is always cool because he's somebody like myself that like geeks out over the business side of things. You know what I mean? Like trying to get people to buy your products, always constantly thinking about new products. And if you follow him, he's always thinking about new ways of like setting up his vendor booth and shit like that because he vends at all these shows. And you got to remember, like Diz does this shit full time. Like this is his gig, is going to these shows, the Comic Cons and all that shit to sell his products. So that's why he's always evolving and making shit look crazy. I don't know if he's still on the chat, but he has a show coming up where he showed me like a fucking 3D model of what his fucking booth is gonna look like. That shit was ill as fuck. So yo, I'm hyped to see the shit once he's actually in there set up so we can see what it looks like. But I think that kind of stuff is dope, man. So shout out to Diz. Shout out to Diz for coming out to California for one, but shout out to Diz for being cool as fuck. What's your take on used press purchase? Wait, what's your take on used press purchase? Oh, like buying like a used press or a uh, standby, get what you can afford and go from there. Does that apply as used? Yeah. Somebody just told me they got the deal of the century and found a signature series for $250. That is the deal of the century, so that's dope as hell. But if that's what you can afford, get it, man, and get into this shit. Like with this equipment, you guys can always upgrade later. Like the shit that you buy now doesn't mean that's all you're gonna be able to get. You get in, make a little bit of money. If you feel you need to ramp up production or you need a new press, you're already making money, so you could justify that purchase. You know what I mean? Like I'm a firm believer in not going broke trying to get rich. Like don't put yourself in debt if you don't have to. You know what I mean? Ben Holden said, Brando won't say it, but the $5 Patreon's fire. Hey, Ben, I appreciate that. Thank you for mentioning that. And thank you for saying that, man. I never promote the Patreon enough. But thank you for that. If you guys want like early access to shit, Patreon's where it's at. Like Patreon always sees when I'm actually editing videos because the shit will just get loaded up with like 7 videos back to back. And then those videos just like slowly come out on YouTube throughout the next 4 months. You know what I mean? So if you want all the videos all at once, Patreon is they see the shit right out the gate. Um, but yeah, if you're buying a used press, get that used press, man, for sure. Nothing wrong with that shit. All right, let me see. Just wanted to say thank you for the videos and giving genuine advice and not demanding. And thank you. Ghostwriter, I appreciate that, man. Thanks for watching. How long was the learning curve for you to start embroidering hats? 1 hour. That's how long that shit took me to fucking figure the shit out. I had a FaceTime training session with a Racoma rep or tech or whatever you call them. He said, "What machine you got?" I told him. He went in front of the same exact machine that I had, set up a FaceTime call on my iPad, and he set it up right in front of the machine. He said, "What the fuck you want to do?" I said, "I want to make hats and I want to do 3D puff embroidery." He said, "All right, check it out. This is how you do it." He walked me through the whole process. Me, my partner Dave, and we had another homie that was working in the shop at the time, the homie Eric. All three of us sat in front of my iPad, in front of our machine, and the first thing he did was walk us through everything. This is how you thread the machine. This is the bobbin. This is how you do this, blah, blah, blah. These are the buttons. This is what you press. So he went through the whole process, showed us how to hoop a hat, how to do everything, set it up, stitch the hat right in front of us. It's like, yo, that's dope. Then he said, all right, now he was like, you guys do it in front of, like, go to your machine and do it. So he was like, there's already a preloaded like Racoma logo already in the machine programmed in there. So he walked us through it. All right, go here, select this file, do this, select thread, blah, 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 hoop the hat, boom, press go, and it went. Stitched, perfect. Then he said, now, he was like, let's do one of your designs. So we got one of our designs, threw it in the machine, and walked us through the whole process, putting it on thumb drive into the machine, figuring out where it lands inside the machine, saved it to there, went through the whole steps, the whole process, bingo, ran that shit. He said, all right, you guys know how to do fucking 3D puff now. He was like, what else you want to learn? I said, that's it. We're just going to stitch some hats now. Hung up the phone and been running ever since. Anytime I have like some random error that pops up or something that happens, I go to Racoma's YouTube page and then I just search like this error code, and then they already made a video saying how to clear that error. And then I just troubleshoot online, and from there, I've just been doing the shit on my own. I haven't had to call or FaceTime a tech or anything like that at all ever since, man. The shit went quick. It's just overwhelming. That's it. It's like a big ass machine that's dangerous because needles is going. But once you get past that, man, you're fucking off and running. Did said I got my big one this weekend. That's what I'm talking about, man. Get that money. Excited to see the booth layout too. You, sir, are a wealth of knowledge. Makeda, appreciate that. Thank you for taking the time to share such useful information. You are appreciated. I appreciate y'all, man. So thanks for even watching and jumping onto this kind of shit. You guys already know this, but I do this every single Tuesday if I'm not traveling or I don't got shit to do. Last week I was at the LAFC game, so I couldn't be live streaming. But then I'm here. So, you know what I mean? Tuesdays at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. LA time, Pacific Standard Time is when I go live. Let me see. Trying to make it back out January. Yeah, there you go. Diz is coming back out to LA. So we're going to run a part 2 to the podcast with Diz if he's back out here. Pretty sure he'll find a way to get out here. Let me see. Can people do music at their booths when they do vendor stuff? I mean, I can throw a rock and knock out 100 dope DJs, me included. Is there a noise issue at street events? Yes and no. It all depends on the event. Like the event that I was at that you came out to, the Hawaiian one, we could play music, but it can't be loud music because they have the 2 stages there. So we can't be like drowning out all that and then being fucking, mean to our neighbors. But then there are some that allow you to do whatever you want within your booth. If you want to set up a DJ, if you wanted to do whatever you want, if you want the lights going off. The issue though is when you do them at a park, you're limited on power. So that's a hard one. Some parks don't allow you to run generators. Like if all 150 booths had generators in the back, that bitch would be loud and you would need noise, or you would need music to drown out that noise. But it all depends on the event. Some events let you, some events don't. Especially like if it's an indoor event, you know what I mean? Like say if you're inside a hall or like a gymnasium or just something indoors, if 6 different booths have DJs in their booth, the shit will just be clouded with like crazy noise because everything will clash. So chances are they won't allow that kind of stuff there. But there's certain ones that will let you do it because you're bringing sort of different aspect to it too. Like in the city of Lakewood, they used to do this thing where they had like food vendors and then clothing vendors. And one of the popular food vendors, the homie from Taste of the Pacific, he had his big ass speakers out there, and he would play music for the whole thing. Like his speaker in his food booth would supply the music for the whole event. You know what I mean? And imagine if 4 other booths had their big ass speakers and they was all playing music, it would sound crazy in the event. So it just all depends, you know what I mean? But that does draw a crowd, you know what I mean? When you have a DJ there and people dancing in your booth and hanging out, supplying a good time, nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Can't wait to come check out the store one day. Devoted brand, appreciate that, man. Hoping to fly out that way this year at some point. Yo, appreciate that, man. Come through whenever, man. Haven't even started my business yet, but been telling friends and coworkers about it, and I already have 4 clients lined up. That's how the shit works, Justin Jacobson. And then it just grows from there. You end up growing outside of your friends because your friends and coworkers now told their friends and other family members and coworkers, and then the network just grows. You know what I mean? New ebook is gonna get typed up on this computer that I'm on now on the plane. Um, so that's the plan. And I guess I'll be editing down some podcast videos too. But yeah, the plan is to hit the ebook. I'll have a little bit of time, 5 hours on a plane, just knocking down. That's the plan. Fastest way to sell t-shirts and hoodies to make some fast money. Easiest way to do that shit. There's 2 easy ways to do it out in public, like in your local area, with designs catered to your local area. So let's say you live in the city of Carson and you just made a bunch of shirts and hoodies that had something to do with Carson on them that looked dope. You get out here, post up in a parking lot, sell them bitches. Easy money. If you want to do the same exact thing but online, excuse me, you jump online, same Carson t-shirts, but then what you're going to do is you're going to start targeting people that live in Carson, find them on Instagram, find them on TikTok, find them on Facebook, and you're going to start showing all your stuff on there. Create conversations. That's the easiest way to sell anything, is when you make things that are easily relatable to people. You'll always sell. First thing to do is hometowns. Hometowns always sell. There's always people that are proud to be from their hometown. If you make some shit that looks dope as hell, they're going to be like, yo, I need that. Then you go from there. But that's the easiest and quickest way to get, like, if you're trying to sell shit, that's the easiest way of making some money with your equipment and with your, like, whatever your t-shirts, hats, hoodies, whatever it is you're offering. That's where it's at. I've done it a bunch of times. I know the shit works because I've done it a ton of times. I remember chopping it up with Diz back in 2016 and a few other people, and we talked about creating a group for the crew that was in your live. Yeah, it was like back then. It was the homie Boostin, Mike, Diz, the homie Sloppy Cheese was on there. Like those, like from 2016 when I used to live stream on Instagram and all that. Uh, that's when the shit was cracking. For startup t-shirt business, would you recommend t-shirts with quotes or branded t-shirts? Personally speaking, I hate t-shirts that have brand names and brand logos on them. The reason being is because when you're a startup business, that brand name and brand logo means nothing to nobody. So it's hard for somebody to buy into that shit if they don't relate to it. You know what I mean? So I always say, when you're first starting out, you need to make shit that's relatable to, not your brand name doesn't have to be relatable to the end user, the t-shirt designs. Like this is a born and raised t-shirt. Shit says LA. It doesn't say born and raised right here. The only born and raised on this t-shirt is small text on the bottom. This has like a big ass spray can with this LA logo. This is a Mr. Cartoon collab t-shirt. That kind of shit to me is doper than just having big ass brand names and logos. You know what I mean? So make designs that are relatable to people. Um, that'll sell all day long. What you're trying to do is you're trying to connect with the audience. And what a lot of people do is they put their thought, or they start really thinking hard into like, oh shit, my brand name has to mean this, this, and this because this, and it's going to relate to these people. The brand name could be called asshole t-shirts, man. It doesn't matter what the brand name is, but as long as you're making designs outside of the brand name that design relates to somebody you're trying to sell to, shit'll sell. Like imagine if I just made a bunch of t-shirts that just said Big Brando. There's people that don't know who I am on YouTube, or there's people that don't know who I am out in public in the world. Nothing is gonna make them stop me in the middle of the street and be like, yo, I want to buy that Big Brando t-shirt. That's dumb. Like my circle logo with my face, if they don't know who I am, they're not gonna buy into that because they're gonna be like, who the fuck is this big brown face on the t-shirt? Like, why is that cool? You have to make shit that's relatable to people. And in order to do that is you have to think about who you want to sell to and how you're going to relate to them. I was telling the other homie that was asking about how to make fast money, the first thing you do is you make shit for your hometown, and just your brand doesn't have to be all about the hometown. But if you want to start getting some traction and then really learning the process on how to sell t-shirts and make t-shirts, the easy money is just making shit for your hometown. And then eventually people are going to buy into it and be like, yo, this guy makes dope ass shirts for the hometown. And then you be like, boom, I also make this kind of shit, and I also do this, and here's some other dope designs. Now you're building up your following without even knowing you're building up your following. But it all starts from making shit relatable to people. Never forget the customer. You're working for the customer, so you're always going to make shit that relates to the customer. You can never forget that. Especially in this business, you can't. C-Lin said, hi, Brando. What made you interested in getting into making your products? Graffiti. I used to do graffiti a long time ago, and then I wanted to be a tattoo artist. My hands are too shaky to be a tattoo artist. So I said, let me just put my letters on the t-shirts. I learned how to screen print. I started selling t-shirts that just said random shit. And then I just kept evolving and kept learning how to make my designs look better and crispier and more symmetrical and dialed in. And maybe that's the graffiti background of making shit symmetrical and understanding where, how shadows work and where your light source is coming from and stuff like that. But it was mainly because I wanted to see my designs on t-shirts and be able to sell it to people. Like I was always into selling things the perfect like just regular as strangers, people that don't know who I am but see the design I made and be like, oh, that's dope, I want to buy that. So I kind of get high off of that feeling of selling something to a stranger, because that stranger is appreciating your art and being like, oh, that's cool, I want to spend my hard-earned money that I worked 40 hours a week for. I'm going to buy this guy's t-shirt. That's dope to me, if that makes any sense. Let me see. Which model do you have? I think you're talking about embroidery machine. I have the MT1501 by Racoma. I think that's what you're asking. I might be wrong. Little game changer for me has been a two-sided thumb drive. One side is USB for my embroidery machine, and the other side is USB-C to hook into my Mac Air. Yo, that's dope. That actually is a pretty fucking good one. I'm gonna have to look into some shit like that. Got ahead of myself and got a Racoma 2002. Now it's just sitting there. Man, get that money, bets. Time to really get to it. Side note, Chief of War is fired, man. That shit is so dope. One, is dope to see like a whole show speaking Olelo or speaking Hawaiian, the native Hawaiian language. Dope as hell. Two, having that story be told on a big ass platform like Apple TV. Dope as hell. And then the casting for it is fucking dope. Like, who doesn't like a bunch of war and fighting? And then who doesn't like just like the grittiness of what it is? Show's dope. If you guys haven't checked it out on Apple TV, Chief of War with Jason Momoa, that shit is dope. I hope it's around for like a while. You know what I mean? Like, I hope a few seasons get picked up and it gets to tell like the whole story all the way through. That shit'll be ill as fuck. Let me see. We should do a multi-part on your channel and mine. We just chop it up based on your questions. Yeah, I'm down, Diz. I'm down, man. Jenny, hola. What's happening? I design that is made for the locals, off brand, but I'm finding myself being more excited about this design than my original brand. That's how it works, man. That's how it works. And now that you're excited about this design and you feel confident about it, that's the shit you put out. You know what I mean? Like that's the shit that you start going for. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. Thank you, Diz. Real information. It hit home. Appreciate that. Carolyn Pitts. Ravent, what's happening? Thought I missed out. I'm here, man. I'm here. Appreciate you for jumping on, though. My hand was too shaky to do tattoos. Yeah, man. I tried, man. I tried on the pig skin. I tried it. My shit. I can't be messing up nobody's skin, man. Messing up skin and messing up lives, man. So I said, nah. I'd rather just wear tattoos and try to do them. Uh, Order just came in to sample the next level 7200. That's what I'm talking about. 7200, I'm not familiar with. The one that I used to use from Next Level, I think they discontinued it, was called the Ideal T. That one was dope. Thoughts on using Kittle, Canva, and AI to help with design? I don't know nothing about those, Ryan S. The way I design stuff is I draw it out like this, sketch it, and then I hardline it. Then I take a picture of this, put it into Photoshop. I take my mouse and then I redraw that shit with Apple Pencil. I mean, not Apple Pencil, with the pen tool. And once I redraw it, I create the digital file, I color it, I do everything else, gradients or whatever else is going to be on there. But that's how it starts: is hand sketch, hard line, take a picture, put it into Photoshop, redraw it with the pen tool. That's my process. Is that the best way of doing things? Probably not. Am I doing it the long way? Probably. That's just what I'm used to doing, and I'm comfortable doing it that way. So that's like my process is just what works for me. You know what I mean? You heard of the? I'm guessing it says buy embroidery machines. If so, what's your thoughts? I don't know nothing about that company. Tajima is a dope company. Um, I think it's Borrowden, Barudan. They're a dope company. Rakoma's dope because of the customer service is fucking phenomenal. I buy into the companies for the customer service because I'm thinking if I'm investing all this money, I want to make sure that the shit works. And if I run into issues, I want to be able to call somebody and be like, "Hey, help me with this issue." So that's why I really went with Rakoma. Was they offer the best customer service, and they were more interested in me getting up and running than taking my money. So I was like, "Yeah, it's cool." Kayana from Maui, let's go. Yeah, hey man, I ain't even gonna lie. The the face tattoos, man. I'm trying to get busy, bro. Like after I saw the face tattoos on the show, I was like, yo, I'm gonna step my shit up. Next thing you know, you guys gonna see me just face blasted because of that damn show. But it looked dope as hell. Chief of War's Fire. That's dope, man. It's so dope to see a bunch of people really into the shit. But yeah, I was like, man, tattoos on Jason Momoa look sick because he got the side head tats. He had some shit on him. Uh, all the tattoos, all of them that's on there. I'm like, yo, this shit is fucking crazy. Let me see. Joel Clark said, I purchased my Racoma embroidery machine after watching your video last year. It's taking my business to another level and different customers. Thanks, bro. Joel Clark. I'll tell you this, man. I hear that from a lot of people. It did the same exact thing to me. And it's not even trying to like upsell nobody. I'm like, hey, you should get this machine. It's just the business just came, like the machine was installed and then the business came with it quick. And when you say different customers, I'm talking, I understand what you mean when you say different customers because my clientele grew just based off of knowing, oh shit, you have that capability. It's on. You know what I mean? With little to no effort of trying to solicit for the work. I don't watch shows until it looks promising. I don't enjoy I don't enjoy a show and then it gets canceled before it ends in the middle. So yeah, that's the worst. I don't know if you guys ever watched this show. If you guys have HBO Max, I highly recommend this show that got canceled, but it shows a dope. If you guys are into this business like I am, it's called How to Make It in America. It's an old ass show. It's based in New York. Um, It's about some dudes trying to get a t-shirt brand off the ground, then they get into like making jeans and denim, doing cut and sew, and it just evolves, but it shows the process of from working a day job to trying to make some shit happen. Dope ass show, dope ass concept. Acting was really dope, shot really, really cool, but it just got canceled. You know what I mean? I don't think there was that many people into watching people uh screen printing on t-shirts and shit like that. But if you do have HBO Max, look up How to Make It in America. It's years old. It's probably like 10, 15 years old, but the show's dope. So highly recommend it. Can't miss Tuesday Talks with Big Brand. Appreciate that, man. Let's go, dough getters. Hector, what's happening, man? I love that you're an artist by hand. It's dope as fuck. Also, know that your content is A1 and has helped me understand the steps to get my business started after being apparel designer for 20 years. See, Lynn, that's dope as hell. 20 years in the business is what I'm talking about. But I appreciate you for understanding what this content is and what its intended uses for is really just to help people get their business going. I don't expect everybody to take the same steps as me in this business, but I do use this content to help people, give them a little bit of a nudge and be like, yo, this is how you do things. So get out there and get it. And then you figure the shit out for yourself. And then, there's people like Threaded Headwear, or there's people like Joel Clark that get into this business, be like, yo, I think I want to try my hand at embroidery. And they do it and their business fucking booms. That's really what the the content that I make is for just helping people get started, and then you find your way after that. You know what I mean? It's not to say follow each footstep that I do and you could be doing what I do, because I want people to do way better than what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I mean? And then I want people to actually figure out what works for them and then share that information with the next person too, because that's all I'm doing. I'm figuring out shit that works for me, share it with y'all, and then hopefully that shit plants a seed for you guys to do some shit, find out some better ideas and better shit to do, share it with the masses. You know what I mean? That's how the shit work. Melody Sturgis, I have a buy. I received 4-hour personal training. There you go. Melody Sturgis has a buy machine. I think I'm saying that right. Or is it maybe Bay buy? Um, I say buy. My son's name is Kai. That's why, and it's spelled the same way with a K. So, Brando, add a step to take away a step with the photo and Illustrator. Use Live Trace, then go in and manipulate the vector lines in the same way as a pen tool might save you hours. You know what? I've done the Live Trace part, the part that I get mixed up on, and this is just me not comprehending how Illustrator works, is when it comes to like the little anchor points, or I don't know what they're called, but the little fucking diamonds that are holding the lines together. When it comes to manipulating those, I get lost fast. That's why I stick with the pen tool, because I understand how to drop those points and then create the lines and stuff. But yeah, and that's just me not understanding how Illustrator works. I mean, I know how it works. I just don't know how to use it, I should say. Let me see. View from the Apex. What's happening? What about a design with my name and slogan, motivational based, revived, empowering change, or inspirational text based designs that aligns with the brand? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, because you understand who you're trying to sell to. I think the only issue that you run into when you do that is a lot of people like you want the people to buy into your brand, right? So when it comes to like the inspiration, there's so many people that make inspirational brands. What I tell a lot of people is when people are buying stuff, a lot of times what helps sell that product of inspirational stuff is buying into the brand owner. So I think what you'll run into is you're going to have to sell yourself more than the actual product. And then when people buy into you, that's when they'll start buying your product, because they have to see that you're empowering and inspirational and motivational yourself, and not just trying to capitalize off of that niche of t-shirts. You know what I mean? There's been like a ton, like since I'll probably say like since COVID, there's been so many women that hit me up and they're like, yo, I want to make a women empowerment brand and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, go for it and do it. And then they have a hard time trying to sell the products because their content isn't empowering, or they're just trying to sell, and they're not actually adding to the inspirational, motivational part of the brand. Just because you're putting, pictures of your t-shirt with inspirational quotes and stuff like that doesn't mean you're actually uplifting anybody. You need to actually be the one driving that force of motivating and inspiring and stuff like that. So then when people buy into you, they say, oh shit, he says this all the time, or this is on t-shirts, and then they buy your t-shirts. So you're basically selling yourself and then selling merch behind yourself, if that makes any sense. That's the only way I've seen that type of t-shirt be sold, is because, yeah, anybody, like, man, I could be the most negative person in the world, but I could make inspirational t-shirts and just put them up online. But when people buy into you being the driving force behind the brand, of you actually going out motivating and inspiring and being that driving force behind the brand, people will buy into you and then buy into your products. I hope that helps you out, because I've seen it so many times. And that's the one thing that a lot of people lack, is they're in it for the money. That in the, at the end of the day, we're all in it for money. But when you just show that you're in it for the money, a lot of people don't buy into that, and like, oh, this guy's a fraud, or this brand is like every other brand. In order to set yourself apart from that, is to show how you motivate and inspire and stuff like that. That's the part where you got to think about, like, how to create that kind of content, and drive that. But then after that, the t-shirts will sell itself. You know what I mean? uh Can you do shirts with the Racoma? Yeah, you can. Stitching flats is pretty easy. Hooping them is kind of hard if you don't have like the right setup for it. But yeah. Let me see. Where do you source your cap labels and hang tags? I don't use cap labels or hang tags or hem tags or any of that. I press my labels into my shirts, and then as far as hats, I just put little holographic stickers on the outside, and I stitch my logo on the side. I don't have one of the hats here. Oh, also speaking of, I don't know if he's on here, but the native mailman, the homie Daryl from Milwaukee, sent me this shit to my shop. He didn't make this, but since he's from Milwaukee and I ride Harleys, that fool shot me this dope ass Milwaukee Harley Davidson shirt. So I don't know if you're on here right now, Daryl, the native mailman, but I appreciate you for shooting this to me, man. I got it today from the shop. Appreciate you, bro. And I also recorded it for a Shop Life video too. How much overhead would you spend on keeping up maintenance, thread hoops, etc.? Shit, there's hardly anything. Thread is dumb cheap. You get spools for like $4 to $6. Foam is probably the most expensive thing to do like 3D puff, but stabilizer, dumb cheap. Bobbins, you can get like a box of 144, like $10. Like I said, threads dumb cheap. Needles are really cheap. You could get 100 needles for like $12, probably even cheaper than that. Snips and scissors, they got those on Amazon for really cheap. You could get a pack of like 20 of those little thread snips. You get like a pack of 20 for like $10. Everything is super cheap when it comes to embroidery. Like I said, foam's probably the most expensive. If you're doing 3mm foam, 2mm foam, you might pay, I don't know, let's say like $1 for a 9x12 sheet of that stuff. And then off of that 9x12 sheet, you could probably get 12 hats done off of that one sheet, I think, if my math is right. But yeah, that's probably it. Shit's nothing, man. Nothing. Fat heck, what's happening? I'm wondering if you still work your day job. Hell yeah, I work my day job. I was there today. Still work my day job. Appreciate the insight and all the info. Been on a roll with watching your videos about pull the trigger on the HPN True Spec. Hell yeah. How much are you still pressing vinyl or only DTF? I only use vinyl when I'm testing designs out. So if I'm testing a design out, I'll use vinyl. But I cut vinyl anytime I have a new idea. That's when I'm testing the shit out. But mainly for retail stuff, I use super color wearable transfers. Let me see. What software do you? Oh yeah, nodes. Those are the little anchor points when you're doing shit with vector images and stuff. Do you use for your shipping software? I just use Shopify. Shopify, you buy your postage and your shipping labels straight through Shopify's dashboard. You don't go to any other softwares. You don't go to any other nothing. Everything's done in the Shopify dashboard. That's why I use Shopify. Regarding Illustrator, at some point down the road, I'll roll down there and show you. Until then, keep doing you. I appreciate that, Mike, man. I appreciate 100%, man. I really do appreciate the help and uh, just being down to earth, especially the conversation we had at the park, man. Really cool, man. So thank you. Looking forward to helping you and the kids out too, for sure. What do you think about an all linen brand t-shirt style? I don't know because I don't wear linen t-shirts and I don't know anybody that does, but if you have the audience for it, fucking get to it, man. There's probably some money in that bitch. Just wondering, how do you know when it's time to devote all my efforts into my own company and stop clocking in at the day job? That's a personal thing. Um, like, let's say it's a money thing. Like, let's say it's a financial thing on why you're sticking at your day job. Then you would have to say, all right, I could double, triple my salary with my t-shirt business or my company, and I don't need my day job no more. But for me, like, I love my day job. You know what I mean? I love what I do. I've built a really dope ass solid career over the last 20 years, 20 plus years now. So I have no intentions on leaving because I actually love what I do. I love making t-shirts also, but I also love what I do, man. I've busted my ass to get where I'm at, and and the payoff is dope. You know what I mean? I think it's fucking dope as hell. I get that there's a lot of people that hate their day job. So if you're in that position and it's just a financial thing, you just have to make sure your company or your business can double, triple your day job salary to make it worthwhile for you to leave. You know what I mean? Where you get the holographic stickers from? I just Googled holographic stickers, custom holographic stickers, and then I just started looking at pricing. I started looking at like holographic stickers on a roll, and then yeah, whoever had the quickest turnaround is who I went with. But they weren't necessarily the cheapest, but they just got to me quicker because I was trying to make the deadline for the the Hawaiian festival that I was vending it. So I was trying to beat that deadline. I was trying to make it there quick. So I just went for the quickest turnaround. Wasn't the cheapest, but I forgot which company it was. It was just a quick one. I ordered 5,000. So I just like knocked it out real quick. Brando, I want to be you when I grow up. This is round two for me. Was a teacher, got cancer, retired at 41. Retired at 41. Hell yeah. Now I'm trying to get my game back in a different way. Crafting business. Christine, get that money. 41, that's what I'm talking about. To me, it's like this type of business or what we're doing here, selling t-shirts, printing for people, stuff like that. A little bit is passion, right? A little bit is like, oh, I really enjoy doing this. I like doing this. But a lot of it is, if I wasn't doing this, what would I be doing? You know what I mean? And then that's where the passion helps carry over the, oh shit, if I wasn't doing this, I'd be at my day job or I'd be doing some other shit that I want to do. So I think that's what carries a lot of people over is they get into the business thinking money, but then end up really liking what they do. Or sometimes they get into it thinking, oh, I'm going to just do t-shirts, but then, oh shit, like making hats is like way more fun and they transition into hats. Or sometimes people get into the business to print for people and find out they love graphic design way more. So a lot of times it's trial and error, but then also it's just like, being open to some new shit. You know what I mean? For hat designs, do you have to send out the design to be digitized? How much does it cost? Yeah. Digitizers charge anywhere from like $10 to like $50. Depends on how complicated the design is. Most of the time, like monogram shit, like here's my hat. Like this LA right here would be like an easy $10, $15 digitized job. Nothing crazy like this. My little $B logo, dumb cheap, $10 to digitize that. Can you do it yourself? Yeah, if you learn the software, but I don't have time to learn software, so I just send the shit out. But it's fairly cheap, 10, $15. And then if I'm like Like say I was embroidering some hats for like a client. I would charge the client, like it will cost me $15. I probably charge the client like 50, or I mean $30 or something like that. Like a $30 digitizing fee. Um, that's me prepping the file, getting it ready to send off to the digitizer, going through the proof sampling with the digitizer, stuff like that. So the extra, I'm doubling the price because of the legwork it takes to do it. That's it. And it usually takes the digitizer 12 hours to a day to turn it around for you. Let me see. My bad for asking. I'm sure you told us, but what was your Racoma embroidery machine do you have? I have the Racoma MT 1501. That's their commercial size single head, 15 needles, meaning 15 spools of thread, single head. What are your top 3 tips on using a heat press for the first time? Top 3 tips is get a laser thermometer so you can check the temperature. Um, Dial in your pressure. The way you find your heavy pressure, max that little knob out on the top. So, and then you try to press it down. You're not going to be able to clamp it down. You're going to back it off a turn, try to clamp it down. If you still can't do it, back it off another half turn, clamp it down. The moment you do that, clamp it down, press, clamp it down, press until you could get it to solid clamp down and close shut. That's your heaviest pressure right there. Remember that. Mark it with a Sharpie. If you have a sure pressure, like some of us do on our signature series, write that number down. That's your heaviest pressure for t-shirts. So always understand that. And then the next thing is practice lining up your t-shirt, because if your t-shirt doesn't lay down straight, your transfer will never be straight. So get into the habit of figuring out how to properly line your t-shirt up, lay it down straight, make sure it's even on both sides. When I'm doing this move, I'm pulling on the armpits of the t-shirt. And then sometimes you'll feel like if one side's higher than the other, you just level it out. Practice how to get your t-shirt to be straight. That's the rule number 1. That's what you should be learning how to do, because you want your transfers to always be straight. You want your t-shirt has to be straight for your transfers to be straight. You could buy every laser guide and ruler in the world. Nothing's going to help you lay your t-shirt down straight. It's just all based on feel. There's some people that are like, fold the t-shirt in half and crease it to find the center and blah, blah, blah. That shit's time consuming. Once you get down, laying your t-shirt down straight, it'll be second nature to you. You'll be laying them bitches down fast, pressing, good to go without adding any extra steps. Hope that helps you out. Raven, let me see. Do you do an Excel sheet for your inventory, sales, purchases, and expenses, or is there a program you recommend? I do all that shit in Shopify, man. Shopify does all that shit for you. You set up your inventory through there. You could say how much it costs you, how much you're selling it for. It'll track every time a sale goes through, and then it'll give you a monthly report, quarterly report, whatever you want that thing to do. Shopify does it all for you. Collect all my credit card transactions through Shopify. My store's register is ran by Shopify. Online store Shopify. When I'm out vending out in public, it's through Shopify. The shit does everything for you. You know what I mean? And that's like the beauty of having that. And it does way more things than I actually use it for, because sometimes I'm not searching for the right shit, or I'm not knowing that Shopify can actually do it until I read up on it. And so I know there's more things that it does that I'm just not privy to. Ryan S., appreciate this, brother. Thank you so much, man. Keep up the amazing work and passing on great information to everyone. I'll roll out the shop here soon. I'm just out here in the IE. Shout out to the IE, man. That's what I'm talking about. Ryan, thank you, brother. I appreciate that for real. When you Shopify, does it allow you to keep inventory as well? And does it calculate shipping costs for you? Yes, it does. It does all of that. So what ends up happening is, say somebody buys a shirt from you, and then you have the shipping set to whatever. You could have it set to they pay in total, or you set your own flat rate fee or whatever. It'll see their address because you're buying your shipping label to them. And then it'll say, like, this is how much it costs if you shipped it with the post office. This is how much it costs for UPS. This is how much it costs for FedEx to get to them in 2 days, 1 day, 5 days. Everything is broken down for you, man. Like, the shit is dumb easy to use. Like I said earlier, I'm not that smart when it comes to this shit. And if my dumb ass could use it, you guys could for sure use it. You'll understand how it works. It's just a little overwhelming at first because you're clicking through and you're trying to figure out, what everything does, but a little playing around with it, you'll start to get the hang of the shit. Let me see. Is live pressing at events a thing? I got called to do a live heat pressing at a school event in October. Is that a doable thing? It is. Like if you just had a bunch of like DTF transfers pre-cut ready to go, easy call. And you have somewhere to plug the press into. You just want to make sure you don't have like, if it's an event for a school, make sure like the fan and the popcorn machine and the cotton candy machine and your heat press aren't all on the same circuit. For sure blow a fuse that way. But as long as that's cool, man, live pressing at events an easy call. All Brando's game helped me go legit and have this be my day job. Mad respect. I'll always be grateful. Threaded Headwear, appreciate you, brother. But you already know, man. You stop by the store, you make the drive out to the festivals I'm at and stuff like that. Always hearing your updates on how the business is rolling and shit that works for you. Ill as hell, man. Like I said, I make these videos for people like you, for me, anybody that's like us, that's in this space, just trying to fucking cut their teeth and get this shit rolling. You know what I mean? It's not, this shit isn't foolproof, but it takes work. But as long as you're willing to put the work in, a lot of this shit gets easy after a while because you start to understand how it works. Like for me, understanding customers was like the one thing that changed my life forever once I understood how the customer brain works. I always talk about that Dale Carnegie book, Changing My Life. But once you understand people, how they work, how they think, you could sell them basically anything. You know what I mean? And that's all I do is I understand who I'm. That's why I preach this so much, is because knowing who you're going to sell to, these are the people that are going to be funding your business. These are the people that are going to buy into your brands. These are the people that are going to be basically, purchasing the products that you create with your hands. So understanding them and giving them exactly what they want and need translates to just transactions on top of transactions, man. And understanding that once you get out that headspace of, oh, I'm creating this for me, into I'm creating this for the customer, man, it's fucking right on the other side of that wall. Freedom. You out there just selling shit to people, and it's like the craziest feeling. You know what I mean? So I understand that you get it. There's a lot of people that don't get it, but majority of the people that watch my videos all understand that's how it works. That's why I preach so much about knowing your customers and making shit relatable, is because I know that there's so much money in that shit, because that's what I'm doing. I'm just making shit that relates to people. My West Side shirt, it relates to anybody from the West Side. Like not rocket science, this LA hat, Filipino stars, script LA. This speaks to any Filipino person from Los Angeles. I make it for people, you know what I mean? And the people are the ones that's buying it. It's just learning to start creating like designs and shit for people, that once that triggers in your brain and it clicks, it'll click for you. Oh man, like I said, it's freedom on the other end of that, because you're just off and running. It's crazy. So I appreciate you, brother, like for sure, man. Threaded Headwear, thank you for stopping by the store, stopping by the festivals that I vend at, and anytime to chop it up, man. It's dope hearing the journey. That's why. From experience of looking, I think you're talking about getting shit digitized. Yeah, man, I just use Google, man. On Google digitizing services, knock down anybody off of the first page on Google. You just look at turnaround time, pricing, who does dope monogram shit, who does complex designs and really detailed designs, who does the easy stuff. You'll find them all on there. I hate my day job. I'm going to be 53 this year, and I'm just starting this new business. We owned a vape shop some years ago, and I loved working for myself. I'm determined to make this work. Hell yeah, man. If you made the vape business work, you can make this t-shirt shit work. T-shirt shit work easy. I got a homie that's in San Jose. He does the same thing. He had a vape shop a few years ago. Now he has an embroidery machine. I think he prints DTF. I think he has a few different heat presses. Like that fool. Shout out to the homie Ryu, man. Hella good lifestyle. His business is dope, and he had a vape shop not too long ago. Is in the apparel business of print for others and running his own brand, killing shit. It's doable. If you understand that business, you for sure understand this business. Still to this day, I rewatch all the playlists like a college course. Hell yeah, that's what they're there for, man. What's your top three blank t-shirts? Shockaware Active, Pro Club Comfort, AS Color Block. I wish HPN sold a Sure Pressure add-on kit. Damn, that would be dope. Put that in their Instagram comments, man. Be like, hey, you guys should make a kit so we could upgrade our regular signature series. That'd be dope. Appreciate you, Revent. Thank you, brother. Sweet. That's what I've been worried about is calculating shipping. Thanks so much for the help. Not a problem. Shopify will do it all for you. Shopify, man, got you. Just saw something cool today on Facebook page under it was an immediate way to buy t-shirt, etc. using TeePublic. Is there a software? I know nothing about that, man. I know nothing about TeePublic, and I know nothing about softwares for buying t-shirts. Beyond the advice and guidance, know that your knowledge is changing lives out here. Yeah, I appreciate that for sure, man. Like this is what I'm doing it for, man. I'm just trying to help people better their situation. That's it. That's all I'm doing this for. Let me see. Yo, man, marathon session tonight. Appreciate you. Yeah, man. We did what, an hour and 45. I'm about to get up out of here real soon, but I appreciate you guys for throwing out all these questions and keeping the show live, man, where I didn't even have to do no thinking, really. I thought I was going to be filling the dead air with me just rambling on about some dumb shit. So I appreciate y'all. Robert Figueroa, can you get AI to digitize for you? I don't know. I've never even tried that, man. You might be able to. So you don't pay for it. Can your embroideries do mine too? They are in Long Beach. I work in Long Beach. Yeah, for like if AI could spit that kind of stuff out, I would imagine it's probably an easy deal. What I do know when it comes to digitizing though is like sometimes you have to make adjustments. I don't know if AI could make those adjustments on just thread count and how heavy you want to lay the stitches and stuff like that. Do a meetup for us, LA people. We can buy you some beers. That was the plan, man. Pre-pandemic, we was doing the coffee club, meeting up at coffee shops and just chopping it up with people. I did that because there wasn't a lot of, just in case people wasn't 21. But doing it at a brewery is really, really, really in the books. That doing a meetup in LA for a bunch of people to hang out, chop it up, network. That is for sure in the books and something I'm working towards. But yeah, obviously be LA based. And then if we can, we'd move it around. Be here more often since I seen you back up here now. Hell yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about. Stay motivated, everyone. Thanks. When you're headed back to Hawaii, shit, I'm going this Friday, brother. I'll be on Oahu this Friday. We are on shirts, but you like Pitbull or Mega caps? I don't know. I seen Pitbull at the show. I've never used them. I don't know nothing about Mega. I'll be under my business name next time. Yeah, for sure, man. Have a good one. I don't forget to register GPX. Oh yeah, GPX Expo, man. Graphics Pro Expo in Long Beach coming up in a week or two. I think August. G6 Customs there. If you want to check out transfer companies, blank companies, you're getting into signage, stickers, transfers, halls and walls, stuff like that. They'll be there. GPX. Just look up Graphics Pro Expo. Do you do sublimation like on polyester shirts? Not on polyester shirts. I used to do it on socks mainly. Family's well, safe after the tsunami waves. Yeah, everybody's good, so I appreciate that. Thank you. Might as well buy a pad down here. Houses are cheap. Man, that's what I'm saying, man. Me and my wife been looking down there, man. We've been looking to buy a place out there. Is your ebook out? Not yet. I'm going to be on the plane this Friday, finishing that thing up. So hopefully when I get back, it'll be loaded up, ready to go. but I appreciate everybody for keeping me accountable on the ebook. But it will be out soon. The plan is to knock it down on the plane. All right. Appreciate everybody for jumping on. Remember, you could rewatch this one. It's going to live on YouTube. I do this every single Tuesday if I'm not traveling and if I'm not already doing something. But I live stream 7 p.m. LA time, Pacific Standard Time on Tuesdays. Speaking of that, next week, Tuesday, I won't be on because I'll be out of town. But when I get back to business. All right. Appreciate everybody. Peace.